searching, and I can't seem to find what I'm wanting. It's changing all the time, and if you notice a different side of mine, then I found what I've been looking for. Found what I've been looking for. I keep searching, and I can't seem to find what I'm wanting. It's changing all the time, and if you notice a different side of mine, then I found what I've been looking for. 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 Found what I've been looking for.
Right, it is crunch time today. We are against Reading. It is our final home game of the season, and I'd love to say that it's looking good, but it's really not. After Easter Monday, it was an awful performance on Monday. I think there's no better word for it, and it's not looking good for today because we're facing a Reading team that is one of the best teams in the league on form. I think the second best team in the league on form at the moment, and they have something to fight for. They have playoffs in mind today. So it's a massive game on each side of the table. Obviously, on our side, we win today, and hopefully Burton lose, and we'll be looking better for relegation. It's still not in our hands. It's in Burton's hands, definitely. But and on the other side of the table, Reading can get in playoffs today. And so looking at Burton's games, they've got Cambridge today. I think Cambridge could nick a result from that because they'll be throwing everything to stay up. They've got Wigan on Thursday, I believe, and then they have got Charlton on the end of the season. They won't beat Charlton. They could get a result at Wigan, and they could get a result today. So we've got the early kick-off, so we won't know whether we have a chance of staying up until around 5 o'clock today. But it's a big day here at the Memorial, one of our biggest games of our recent history. But I am not confident because something needs to change with the performance. It is crunch time for the Gas, as the team know that anything other than a win will more than likely send them down, as Burton Albion have a game in hand over Rovers and have far superior goal difference. Facing off against the Reading side that have playoffs in mind and that are bang in form, it's do or die today for the Gas. Reading would start the game like you'd expect a playoff chasing side to.
Could be Shaw, the teenager, losing it there. Hibby Hattiman with the ball in, an early chance, and it's off the post.
Harvey Nibbs on the swivel, forcing Jed Ward to get a crucial hand down to his right-hand side, pushing it into the post.
And it was nearly done with less than a minute gone. The Gas extremely lucky.
Rovers were becoming the better side, however.
Noel Hunter's been in charge since early December now. It's his 30th match with Reading today. It's a foul here. And Clinton Moller wants off Reading. They work the angle instead. Here's Jack Hunt. Still Hunt. And still...
Jack Hunt forcing an easy save from Joel Pereira.
Wasn't a clean take there by the goalkeeper, Joel Pereira. But he held on to it nonetheless.
Rovers would keep making chances.
Moller. Looking to drive it in low. He'll try again. Shaw. It's still an opening here. And a good save by Pereira. Fine reflexes there from the Portuguese.
Raul Soterio forcing a fantastic stop from the former Man United keeper.
Just one more game for Reading to go after this as they host Barnsley in Berkshire next Saturday. All of the games are 3 o'clock kickoff in Leagues 1 and 2.
Rovers were giving a lot for the Reading defence to think about.
Intercepted there by Wilson. The Welshman on to Hunt. 3 in the box. Free header for Soterio. The kind of chance he's been waiting for and the kind of chance he wished he was a few inches taller for.
Raul Soterio hitting his header over the bar. Rovers were not giving Reading a break.
Short option was on there for Hunt, but he delivers long instead. Back in by Butcher. It's still there. A Donkor, what a save! An outstanding stop there by Joel Pereira, who's kept Reading in this game a couple of times now. It was headed back out of the penalty area initially by Taylor, and then hooked on by Wilson. And Donkor was almost running off in celebration. I think he thought he was destined to score there.
Gatlin O'Donkor forcing one of the saves of the season from Pereira. The Oxford loanee wondering how his volley didn't find the back of the net.
Now, Kofi Shaw, corner. Things suddenly opening up at both ends of the field. Piece, another great save. Pereira at full stretch again to deny Bristol Rovers. And I think it was James Wilson who rose highest there to nod down. And he cannot believe he's been denied.
Silswinkle's rising up to meet it, but again Joel Pereira would deny the Gas from going one up. Despite this, things were looking good for the Gas.
Donkor gives it away. Wing. Garcia. Hibatiman. Lovely step. Can they finish? Yes, they can! Reading are in front! 2-2 for Lewis Wing. They finally brought their A-game. Lovely set by Savage. He created the opportunity. And Wing able to slot it home. He netted at Mansfield on Monday. He's netted here on the road again.
Heartbreak for Rovers fans as Lewis Wing slotted it past Jed Ward to send the packed out away end into pandemonium and break 8,000 hearts around the Memorial Stadium. Rovers had to pick themselves up. They would get a chance to equalise.
Hoisted high by Butcher. On there by Taylor. A clash in the middle. It's still alive here. Oh, it was going wide anyway, but nodded away and out by Savage. It was picked up here by Luke Thomas and cleared off the line there by Bindon, who was back. Wing. Nibs. Campbell could finish it here and has! Reading will have a final day game with Barnsley trying to fight for that final playoff place. A fourth goal of the season for Chem Campbell, a man who's netted here in Wickham colours before.
More heartbreak for Rovers as Chem Campbell would score in added time to put the game to bed.
Nicely played. Wing, Nibs, Campbell beating the goalkeeper at his near post. And Campbell, who scored the sealer and a win at Shrewsbury earlier this month, has rounded things off nicely here for Reading.
elation in the away end, but heartbreak in the home end, as relegation from League One was all but confirmed.
From range, comfortably over from Butcher. And with that, the final kick. Largely boos, but big cheers in one corner of the Memorial Stadium here. And that is because Reading have got themselves back-to-back wins as they take another step towards that 6th place in the League One table. It will go to the final day. Chem Campbell got the sealer in the 4th minute of added time for the Royals. That after Lewis Wing had put them ahead earlier in the piece with a nicely worked goal finished off inside the penalty area. Bristol Rovers will be so frustrated though that they didn't get themselves a goal when on top in the first half and in the early stages of the second. And Inigo Calderon's face paints a real picture as to how their season is now likely to pan out. And their final home game of the season ends in disappointment. They're 9 games without a win. Full time here at the Memorial Stadium. It's finished. Bristol Rovers 0, Reading 2.
What can I say? What can I say that hasn't already been said? It is Reading 2, Bristol Rovers 0, and that is all but confirming that we will be playing in League 2 next season. There's a small chance that we can stay up if Burton Albion lose all of their 3 games, and they now have 2 games in hand technically on us. If they lose all of their games between now and the end of the season, and we somehow nick a win at Blackpool. But no, it's just it's so disappointing considering how we played and the chances we had. And I think that might just be the story of our season: inconsistency and just not taking chances when they come up. Like you think back to the Mansfield game, you think back to the Birmingham game here at the Mem a couple of weeks back, and it's just chances that we don't take. And obviously, strikers being injured will cause that. We've had Totoro pretty much all season, but we've been running low. On the attacking department. But yeah, if everything goes if everything goes like it's looking like, we will be playing in League 2 next season. After 2 seasons in League 1. We'll have to do it all again. We'll have to go up again if we want to play in League 1 in 2 seasons' time. And it's just so disappointing because we haven't looked that bad. We haven't looked like a relegation team for at least half of this season. And the season, like obviously it started, we weren't that great. We were inconsistent with Taylor. It looked good under Calde. It looked good in the first couple games under Calderon. But it's hard to pinpoint what's gone wrong this season, whether that's injuries or inconsistency or inexperience or whatever. But we've lost 8 out of 9 now in a row. We've lost 5 on the trot here at the Memorial Stadium. That's our worst record at home in any stadium since the 1945 season. And yeah, that's the reason we're going down. That's plain and simple, inconsistency and just not taking chances. That's why we're going down. And the Reading fans are giving it the big one, and so they should. They've just got into the playoffs. We're going down. And yeah, it's just, I'm trying not to cry at this rate. It's so disappointing. But yeah, we go to Blackpool. We'll be there to support the lads on the final day. And hopefully we have everything go our way in the next couple of days and we somehow have a chance to try to stay up. But I'm not expecting anything. But that is it for the Memorial Stadium this season. We go to Blackpool on Saturday, and yeah. Here we are for the last game of the season. We are here, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. We are just about to go onto the motorway and we are heading to Blackpool in Lancashire. And last game of the season, obviously nothing can come from this game. We are already down, so unless by the off chance that Reading don't get a new owner by 2 days from now, then the next place team from Burton goes up or stays up. So that's the best we can do, really, just get the best position we can. And I think yeah, The Rovers fans will come in good voice, I reckon. They always support the lads in the last game of the season, even if it is a bit dire. But yeah, it's gonna be good fun. I think the team's gonna be a bit different. I think Dewsbury will get minutes today. Some of the younger lads will get some minutes today, and I don't think Swinkles will play. The lone players won't play because they don't want to send them back to their clubs injured. So yeah, we shall see you in Blackpool.
It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure I need you.
The final game of the season would take the gas to Bloomfield Road in Blackpool. With relegation confirmed for Rovers, this game is only about finishing on a high for the gas. However, Rovers would find themselves against a Blackpool team that beat Rovers at the Memorial Stadium earlier this season. However, that defeat was under Matt Taylor. The team have improved under Inigo Calderon. What will the gas be able to do today? The gas started out the better team, putting Harry Tyrer in the Blackpool goal under pressure.
Morgan wins it for Blackpool. Now to Lee Evans. Might have to go all the way back here and does. Let's play back and for his keeper. Harry Tyrer for Doncourt. Will put the ball in the net. Time in the world, but Gatlin Doncourt made sure that he didn't. He was determined, chased him all the way, smelled an opportunity and punishes Blackpool and their goalkeeper Harry Tyrer.
The Seasiders keeper thinking he had more time to play out the back. Gatlin Doncourt taking advantage to score in his final game in the blue and white quarters.
Forward options. Harry Tyrer may have given Elkin back at the shout, and as he turns here, Gatlin Doncourt is very quick off the blocks. It's one that he won't look to see anytime soon. And there has not been many times this season where Bristol Rovers' away support has seen their team score first. But they have here.
However, the Seasiders wouldn't be thrown off by this.
Just their fourth game of the season, but Blackpool immediately looking to respond. There's Bloxham, and he smacks it off the post.
Tom Bloxham hitting the woodwork on the half volley.
Coulson with the cross. Gathered by Jed Ward. Well, immediately after taking the lead, Bristol Rovers nearly immediately saw Blackpool equalise. Bloxham hit it.
Jed Ward was stopping the Seasiders from finding his net. The Bristolian would pick up the ball in his own box.
Ward's kick is poor. Lee Evans decides to play it to Morgan. Now on towards Niall Ennis. Can he get a shot away? He can. Jed Ward saves, and Tom Bloxham puts it in. Blackpool have equalised. Jed Ward's save was straight into the path of Tom Bloxham, who was not going to miss that. Practically put it into an empty net, and Blackpool have equalised, and all it took was one bad kick from Jed Ward to allow Blackpool to get themselves level here.
Jed's rare lapse in judgment would lead to Blackpool being able to get a shot at him. Jed palming it away, only to find a wide open Tom Bloxham.
Work it
You know Niall Ennis is eventually going to get a shot away. Jed Ward can only parry it to Tom Bloxham. He can't push it away far enough from the Blackpool number 14.
Despite this, Rovers fans were in good spirit. Going into the second half, Rovers looked the better side. However, former Rovers player Elkan Baggott would run at his former side's defence.
Now goes wide. Along the floor in towards Niall Ennis. Touch lets him down. That's the chance for Albie Morgan though. And he takes it. He does what Niall Ennis couldn't do. And that was get a shot away and find the back of the net.
A deflected shot would find Albie Morgan, the Blackpool man shooting before Jed Ward could get across his goal.
So now going 2-1 up. They lead for the first time this afternoon. And it's Albie Morgan who puts them in front. It all starts from Elkan Baggott, who brought the ball a fair old way, and Taylor Moore comes in to intercept. That vacates that space. Bloxham gets it in. Ennis with a little bit of a heavy touch. His shot gets blocked. And then it just comes out towards Albie Morgan, who sets himself and is able to get it beyond Jed Ward.
Rovers were still in the game, January signing Michael Reindorf in with a chance.
Lee Evans. Ball now goes towards Michael Reindorf. Yet to score, by the way, for the Gas. Takes this on and gets a save out of Harry Tyra.
The Cardiff loanee forcing a low save from Tyra.
Would go on the inside of Lee Evans, tried to bend it past the keeper. But the keeper, Tyra, at full stretch.
Rovers did have a foot in the game, however, Blackpool would find themselves with a quick counter-attack.
Could be danger for Bristol Rovers. On now towards Niall Ennis! He gets his goal! Just as Bristol Rovers were threatening to equalise, Blackpool now get a more comfortable cushion and may have just ended on a high here at Bloomfield Road, with Niall Ennis getting the third and sending Bristol Rovers back to the southwest with nothing to show for their efforts. All it took was a ball to get beyond Luke Thomas. CJ Hamilton was always going to try and find Niall Ennis, the best placed player on the pitch in Tangerine, to take an effort on like that, and how he proved it.
Rovers would find themselves again defending a counter-attack, this time Connor Taylor fending off 4 players.
Maybe there is a little bit more optimism than negativity, as now they could be in again. Finnegan onto Fletcher. Can they make it 4 into Gabriel? Jed Ward with a good sliding challenge as Blackpool are able to get a 4th, and it's Ryan Finnegan who's got it. Untidy, scrappy, but they found a way through as Ryan Finnegan gets the applause as Blackpool have now got 4, as it's another sorry episode on the road for Bristol Rovers in League One. Well, they had 2 options left, they had 2 options right. Finnegan went left, Fletcher to Gabriel, Ward got a foot out, he made a good save to deny Hamilton. And then Finnegan's shot just creeps in off the goalkeeper Jed Ward, who was actually really unlucky there, to be fair. Denied 2 Blackpool players, and then the ball just goes underneath him after that saving in. Long he looks.
And with that, the referee would blow the full-time whistle to end Rovers' season. A season to forget for the Gas. Much like the 2021 season, Blackpool would beat an already relegated Bristol Rovers team on the final day.
End in the best possible way on home soil. As for the Gas, it is 9 defeats in their final 10 games to end the season. On the face of it, you could argue gone down with a whimper, as it is finished here at Bloomfield Road. Blackpool 4, relegated Bristol Rovers 1.
Right, so that's it. It is Blackpool 4, Bristol Rovers 1, and it's another performance that kind of sums up our season. Just disappointing. We did score the first goal, for once. So for the second home away game in a row, we did score the first goal. Gatlin O'Donker, it was kind of just two-footed, their goalkeeper. But then it just kind of, we had a few shots here and there, but Blackpool were the better team, I think. Just like the reverse fixture at the moment, they were just the better team, and they managed to put 4 past us, and I think the players kind of lost hope after the third or second or third. But yeah, we'll be in League 2 next season. The fans have already embraced it. But most of the players seem hungry to get us back into this division. Obviously a few are going to leave with loans and with transfers. We'll have a lot of new faces into next season. Hopefully, yeah, it's a hard situation to be in and to swallow as a Rovers fan, because it's kind of now dawning on me that we are going to be a League 2 club, and it's weird to know how to think, because next season I do believe we will go back up. We'll win more games than not. But for this season, Bristol Rovers, that is it. We'll be in League 2 next season, but we'll be back, don't worry. Up the gas. However, Sunday morning would bring huge news. So it's the day after the Blackpool game, and there is big news concerning Bristol Rovers. Inigo Calderon, along with his assistant Miguel Lara, have been sacked from the club. This comes, I think it's around 17 hours after the Blackpool game finished, and it's quite the news to wake up to, if I'm honest. Yeah, I was planning on getting some editing done for the documentary, and I go onto Twitter and I check the feed, and the first thing that comes up is Calderon has departed his position at the football club. That is the official statement from the club, and I think it's, on one hand it's disappointing, not the sack, but just the last 6 months in general. It's been a very, very inconsistent time. We had the brilliant wins, like the 3-1 against Burton, the 3-1 against Barnsley, 3-1 against Peterborough, the 3-2 against Bolton, the 1-0 against Huddersfield. But we also had, you cannot excuse a 10 games without a win. 1 win in 10. It's inexcusable at that point to some fans. I think it would have been nice to see him have a proper transfer window, because I know he had January, but January, not much stuff happens in January, like in terms of big money signings. It would have been nice to see him have a transfer window, but I can see why the club did it, because there was no indication that things were going to get better, and the club, I guess, just wanted to take a new direction with the team, and we're still waiting on who it's going to be to replace him. It's odds on, so the 3 people who are odds on at the moment is Steve Evans, who was the Rotherham manager until he got sacked mid-season. He would be good for League 2. He knows that league inside and out. Darryl Clark, who would be the fan favourite by an absolute margin. He got us back-to-back promotions from the National League up to League 1 about a decade ago, I believe it was. 2017, so about 7 or 8 years ago. And he has said that he has Rovers directly in his heart. He left us in 2018. Since then he's managed Port Vale, he's managed Cheltenham, I believe, and Barnsley, who sacked him mid-season. That was about when they capitulated at the end of this season. And the third person odds on is Gary Monk, who was the Cambridge manager, I believe, until they let him go mid-season. He knows League 2 inside and out. He got Cambridge up, I believe. So they're all good possibilities. We'll see what the club... I think the fans expect a club statement within the next week. I believe the retained list is coming out later today. So, yeah. I'm a bit disappointed, but I'm not surprised, and I see why the club did it, and it might pay out. I believe it will pay out for the club in the long run. But yeah, Inigo Calderon has been sacked by Bristol Rovers. After 26 games in charge of the Gas, the club deciding it best to part ways with Calderon and his assistant Miguel Lera. During his tenure at the Gas, Caldy would oversee 6 wins, 3 draws and 18 losses. 15 players would also be leaving the club at the end of this season, with players running out of contract and loanees returning to their parent clubs, with veteran players such as Scott Sinclair and Romain Sawyers leaving. Less than 3 days after this news, new headlines would give Rovers fans hope. Right, so a couple days on from the news of Inigo Calderon departing his position at Rovers, a club announcement has come out and it has given the fans hope. Let's just say that Darrell Clarke is back at Bristol Rovers, and I think that has given hope to around, well, however many people support the Gas. It's definitely united the fan base, I think it's fair to say. And I think it's what most Rovers fans wanted. There is a bit of scepticism with some Rovers fans of don't go back, which because his legacy at the club is so good that if it does go wrong, it might tarnish his legacy. But it's the right choice from Bristol Rovers, from Ricky Martin, from everyone involved at the club. He's already done his statement of to the fans, and it's got all of us excited. I think it's fair to say. I'm trying to find the words because the news has just come out. I was just outside because the weather's really good at the moment, and yeah, I'm struggling to find the words for how excited I am for League 2 next season. I believe if he gets the right people in, gets the right signings in, we could genuinely win the league. Because we did not look at a lot of points last season. We did not look like a team that should have gone down. At some points, we looked like a team that was fighting for top 10, like the Bolton game, the Huddersfield game, the Barnsley game 3-1, the Peterborough game. So many times where we looked like a really good team, a really well-strung team, but it's just inconsistency that took us down last season, and hopefully Darrell can fix that. And he's turned it around before, and I think he'll do it again. But it's great news at Bristol Rovers, and it's definitely united the fan base, which is what the club needed in these times of uncertainty. But yeah. Darrell Clarke is back at Bristol Rovers. Darrell Clarke managed Rovers from 2014 until 2018. In that time, he would get back-to-back promotions with the Gas from the National League all the way to League 1. And after he was let go by Barnsley early in the season, he and Rovers saw an opportunity to reunite the fan base. Darrell stating to the Rovers fans, "I'm back." The Mansfield-born manager later saying to BBC Bristol that he was beyond proud to return and once again be here at this exceptional club. Later adding, even though the season just gone was undoubtedly a difficult one, the potential of this club remains incredibly high, and when the chance to return came up, I didn't have any hesitation. And that he was excited to get down to work during the off-season, prepare for the new campaign, and step out at the men once again in front of the brilliant, passionate Gasheads. Saying to the fans that we will need each and every one of them with us in the season to come, and that he wants to give them a team they can get behind and performances they can be proud of. Another season in the books, and what a ride it's been. Wins we'll never forget, losses that stung deep, and those moments, those beautiful moments, when the men felt like the centre of the football world. The lads gave us everything. From August through May, they wore the shirt with pride. Some grew into heroes, others said goodbye, but every one of them left something on that pitch. And in the Thatchers end, we never stopped. Through the midweek heartbreaks, the last gasp winners, but through it all, we sang, we shouted, we stood tall. It wasn't the season we hoped for. Mistakes were made, points slipped away, and in the end, the table doesn't lie, we go down. But this club's never just been about the results. It's about resilience, it's about people, it's about a city that turns up week in, week out, no matter the league. We felt the heartbreak together, and we'll feel the comeback together too. Next season brings a fresh start, a new chapter, a chance to build something better, tougher, hungrier, more united. We've been here before, and we've risen before. So we go again. League 2 or not, this is Bristol Rovers, this is our club, and we fight like hell to bring it back.
See you in 25-26, Gasheads. The bounce back starts now. And with that, there's only one thing left to say. Up the gas.